Hi guys and welcome back. So today I will be doing a review slash response to Katie Hopkins. She is a media personality, a well-known media personality, and she's always in the middle of controversies and stuff like that. But this video was sent to me by one of my subscribers. I think I get sent these videos, a few of these videos. I think because obviously I did previous review slash response to other issues like this. So I think people thought they'd send it to me because it's an area of interest. But yes, I got sent this video and I've wanted to, because I got sent this video a couple of days ago, and I've wanted to respond to the video, but I just wanted to do my research, wait and see, etc. And I'm glad I did wait a little bit because I did receive other videos that would help to tie into this video and to bring my point across the best way I know how. So guys, I will be showing you the video. I'll be watching the video myself, and then I'll come back with my views, and I'll just basically go through exactly step by step what it is that Miss Katie Hopkins was referring to. And so guys, watch the video, and I'll come back with my views slash review.
3 questions for the Black Lives Matter protesters, a protest movement that's sweeping the globe. My questions are this. Number 1, why do Black Lives Matter more when a white person is involved? Why is it that during the weekend prior to the death of George Floyd, 10 individuals were shot down, murdered in Chicago at the hands of other black individuals, but nothing was said? And yet when a white person was involved, there are protests all over the globe. There was a gentleman shot trying to protect a store from looters and rioters. He was shot dead where he stood, lay bleeding out on the sidewalk, and no one seemed to care. Why do Black Lives Matter more when a white person is involved? My second question is, what is it you're actually asking for? What do you want, and why do you want it? You can say Black Lives Matter, you can shout systemic racism, you can give me all the sort of repeated platitudes, but none of them are actually telling me what you want. If racism is so systemic, did it only start since Trump was in power? Is it only systemic for 4 or 5 years? Or does it happen in Obama's time? If so, where were you then? What is it you're asking for? If I asked 10 of you, I'd get 10 different answers. And finally, of course, many BAME individuals have been demanding the release of a report into coronavirus deaths. 4 times the amount of BAME individuals are impacted or have died because of coronavirus. So if you were part of that, demanding that report, #YouClapForMeNow, worrying about deaths of BAME individuals, how is it you're now out protesting in your thousands, stood next to each other, rioting, looting, without a mask, no social distancing? Either you did care before or you didn't. Either your Democrat mayors wanted you locked down for your safety, or actually now they're applauding you riot. Maybe there wasn't a problem in the first place. Why is it if BAME deaths are higher, now, today, you don't care about that anymore? 3 simple questions, and I'm not expecting an answer to any
before I jump
anytime soon
onto these questions, I just have to point out that I'm one who, I believe in fairness. I believe that I don't care about your color, I don't care about your background. I just believe that if you're right, you're right, and if you're wrong, you're wrong. And I am very fair in that regards, because I know I have to give an accountability to God. So I'm fair. And when you hear someone speaks, and if there's any truth to it, you have to acknowledge that. That's just me. My views are nothing political. I'm not a political person. But I've also noticed that whenever there's a protest, whenever there's a police brutality or something unfairly done to the black community, and this is why it's so sad, yeah? It's always twisted, and it's always turned into a political event. It's always turned into a political parade where it's about politics rather than the needs of the people and the actual improvement of the community. And that's really sad, because this is not only in America, it's worldwide, it's also in Jamaica as well, where each political party use, and it's always the less fortunate, you know, the more, so it's always the less fortunate, you know, the most deprived individual that is used as a pawn for these political gains. We call it political points. So it's like a board that you tick a point for this, and who can top who in the charts to win the next election. And it's really sad because you're thinking that we're all human beings, and if you say you care about your community, it doesn't matter where the help comes from, it doesn't matter where the support comes from. That should be what's important, and not you winning office the next term. But we've all seen it's about the self is taking over the world. Pride, self promotion, you know, self everything. So it's all about self promotion in the world now, and everybody's about everybody, and everybody wants to get to the top, and they don't care who they step on to get there. They just want to get there, and that's what's important, which is really sad, because obviously if we put politics aside, we would get so much more out of these protests, and we would reach so much, we would reach further. But again, everything has gone down to politics and winning points, and nobody wants to give the next party any accolades, because of course that would mean that you're acknowledging their good efforts. So again, we're in a sad place. But let's jump on to these questions. She asked the first question, why do blacks, let me go around this one because it's much clearer. So she asked, why do Black Lives Matter more when a white person is involved? Now, when I first saw this video, because it's like, I saw the video and I saw that question and I was like, why do Black Lives Matter more when a white person is involved? And what is really sad, guys, because I have to be fair, what is really sad is that I couldn't answer that question straight away. And I'm sure a lot of people that took them off guard, because this lady is really bold, you know, it's Katie. Like, and this is why I don't understand. You hear a lot of people say racism doesn't exist, and, you know, clearly, like, for someone, for an issue this sensitive, and I understand she has a right to her own opinion, but it's quite, I would say it's poignant, and speaking with such entitlement. She seemed a bit entitled to me. But anyway, yeah, I found her to be quite condescending. And but that's just who she is, and this is why I can't understand when people say that, oh, we're there's no racism, there's, you know, we're treated equal, because her statement sounded like she was speaking down to the black community as opposed to asking direct questions. But again, that's just my opinion. So who wants to, you know, people are going to always say things and say that you're implying a certain behavior, you're implying something. But anyway, moving along. So she asks, why do Black Lives Matter more when a white person is involved? Now, and she referred to the black community and how murders are, oh, black people kill black people. But I'm sure that in the white community, you have actually more deaths, white and white crime, the same way you have black and black crime. Which that's the next story that I don't want to go into, because that's something deep and different. I don't want to explore that. We're talking about now, right? And this is how the two issues are so different, because we're talking about unarmed individuals, unarmed black men, unarmed and being murdered. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about two gangs that has rivalry, that has a conflict, and they are now killing each other because of that conflict, right? Remember, even in the Bible, we used to have wars. You have conflicts between nations, right? And we have wars and stuff like that. That's a different thing. So I remember also, countries, even in this age, countries have war, conflicts, right? And they decide to work it out that way. So I don't see the difference with the black community, this gang and that gang, and they're killing each other. Not saying that's right. We're just saying, I'm just pointing out how different it is. So they have a conflict with each other. Now we're looking at someone whom you have someone who's supposed to serve and protect. And we're talking about the bad cops. We're not talking about the good cops, because there's good and bad in any profession. So we're talking about the bad cops, and then you're unarmed and someone comes and murder you or treat you inhumane. That's a total different thing about why is it pointed out only when it's done, when a white person is involved. The reason why it's pointed out when a white person is involved, Katie, is because this is what happens frequently. Because black individuals are treated a certain way when they're in contact with law enforcement, not only law enforcement, even if they're going to our shops. And yes, I do believe in stereotypes, right? And that's another story. Again, those are previous videos I went deep into. But we're talking about this question now, right? So we're sticking to this question. You can't compare the two, because one is a race, like the same way you have in white people, you have white and white crimes. Black and black crime, it's two gangs having conflict and they decide to take it out that way. They're killing each other. That's a conflict. But how can that be the same with someone who is going about their business, or they have done something, they're unarmed and they're murdered in the process? Total different situation. So you're not making any sense there, because this and that situation is total. It can't be in one. It can't be the same. It can't be categorized in the same. You can't put it in the same box, right? And because this happens so frequently, where unarmed minorities are murdered quite frequently. So obviously something for the attention, because they're murdered in a way where they're not even supposed to be murdered. It's not like there's a shootout. It's not like they drew a gun or stuff like that. If someone is unarmed, they have the right to due process. Now the second question, what is it you're actually asking for? Now this one, I applaud you, because I myself has become lost. And this is where some people might take this offensive. And I will not apologize for it, because it's my opinion and it's something that I see happening, and it's something that is really troubling to me. Now, there's always a saying that in everything you have to always have a vision. So you can't go forward unless you know where you're going. So you need to know what's your end goal, right? So like back in the days, and we had Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, all of those activists, all of those well-known, powerful black individuals who has paved the way for us. They all had a vision. They knew what they wanted. So Martin Luther King knew he wanted fairness. He wanted black people to be treated the same way as do white people. And Rosa Parks wanted to sit at the front of the bus. She wanted everyone to sit together and not to be segregated. Now that's a vision. You know you have a goal. Now we see George Floyd died. And of course that invoked a certain emotion in all of us, myself included, where we all felt it touched us. It touched the world. Even people, maybe it even touched people who they didn't even care about black lives or cared about the community. It touched all of us. It was a brutal thing to witness. It was quite inhumane. It was very bad. So it touched a lot of us. And it has moved a certain movement across the world, which we've never seen in years, right? So that happened. Now the protest happened, and we had a vision that we wanted. We wanted justice for George Floyd. Now it seems George Floyd is getting justice. And what we're seeing is protests keeps taking place, but there doesn't seem to be a goal. The only thing I've heard about is defunding police. But how does that benefit the black community? And this is where I had to step back and be like, okay, she has a point there. We don't have a clear goal as to what we exactly want, where we are going. Now the protest has become a joke, in my opinion, because I've seen some video where there's dancing, there's this loads of things about, oh, I'm black and all of that. I'm like, oh my God, it's like we're just gonna go right back in circle. Guys, take a look at what's happening now with the protests. Tell me what you think. for me, that just looks like the next, the next trending. Just looks like what's trending today. That's how it looks like to me. I don't know what you guys think, but for me, it just looks like, it doesn't look like a focused, get to business, know what I want. This is what I want. It doesn't look clear. There's no clarity in terms of what I see. And that's just my honest opinion. It just looks like what's trending. It's just the in thing. Yeah. This just is defeating the process.
That's a fact.
We're just going to go right back in circle. And we're not going to get anything from this that we want. Yes, there's police reform, but that's not really, how does that benefit? How does police reform benefit? That's not all that we need. This is what I think that we should be standing. And this is where I think we should be drafting up. So this should be drafted up as the black community and presented. This should be presented to Parliament as a definite change. This is how you improve your community. Use this opportunity. Now your voice is being heard. Let's be seen as people with clear thinking, with a vision, with a goal. How can we get anywhere when we don't even know where we're going? This is what I think we should have drafted up, that we should draft up. Okay, give us better funding in our community, the schools in our community. Give us better funding in our community. Invest in our schools. Number 2, tear down some of these dilapidated buildings and give us better homes. Things like that. Tear down some of these houses. They're not occupied. So these houses that are in the community that are not occupied, that are used for drug trafficking. Tear down these houses. Build houses. Build better community centers. Build more of those. Give us more parks. Give us more opportunities. That's what I thought. And number 1, invest in our schools. Improve our communities. Provide support, more support in terms of mental health support. That's what I think we should have been asking for. But now, the BLM just seems to be, basically, it's like a crusade of just protesting for, I don't know. I'm lost. So she has a point there. And that, it really knocked me because I was a bit embarrassed because I'm like, oh God, yeah, this is what they always do. They laugh at us. They're like, they always say that, oh, black people, they're just emotional. They don't know, they don't have a vision. They don't know what they want. They're just all over the place. They're like a headless chicken. Headless chicken and the chicken pluck, 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 and the chicken doesn't know where it is going. This is what they say about us behind our backs. And it's sad because we are allowing ourselves to become a political focus, to be used as a pawn for political gains. When it's not about politics, should not be about politics. Now, let's go to the third question. How is it here now, where she spoke about the third question about how is it that there was this investigation into black people being killed by the coronavirus more, and how we cared about that, but now we're protesting in numbers. Ma'am, first and foremost, when I heard that, I was like laughing because, lady, we're being killed more by injustice than coronavirus right now. That's more important. And not that I'm saying that we should be out there protesting and we should be putting our lives at risk, but at this moment, we're stifling anyway. So what you're saying is pointless. And I believe in the protest. I believe that protest is important. I believe that we should be out there. But when you're talking about, oh, why don't we care about coronavirus anymore? Right now, we've been stifling way before coronavirus. So if we have to put our lives at risk just to get a better life, because what injustice is killing black people more than even coronavirus is killing black people. For years, we've been stifled in the workplace, in schools, in everywhere possible. We've been stifled in our community where we can't strive, where it's like we're just there stifling, dying, trying to get out. And it's like, it's just so hard to come out. It's like when you've been tear gassed and you're trying to get out and the door's been locked. And you're there and you're like, I want to get out and you can't get out. So lady, what you're talking about is ridiculous. And protest, this at this moment, what happened to George Floyd, that protest was vital. It was needed. Coronavirus or not, that was needed. And people are not out there protesting and in numbers because they don't care about their health and their safety in regards to coronavirus. It's because what happened to George Floyd was so bad that it warranted this protest. Right? And then she spoke about if there's systemic racism, why is it now that it's pointed out as, in terms of it being geared towards. So she's saying that if there was always systemic racism, why are people putting it solely on Donald Trump? And this is something where I have to be real fair and honest. I have always thought, and God don't like ugly. God doesn't like ugly. Despite of Donald Trump's ways, despite of who he is, you have to give fairness to fairness. And I always notice that everything, they put a blame on Donald Trump. Everything is a put on Donald Trump. Yes, yes, there are people that don't want Donald Trump to be voted back in. But what does that have to do with the black community? Yes, he's made a lot of mistakes. Yes, he's done a lot of bad things. Yes, he said a lot of bad and inhumane things. Like the same thing I said about Candace Owens. I cannot say Candace Owens is the first person to be tearing down her own community. It happens. I'm just saying she contributes to that happening. So again, guys, we have to be fair in all that we do. And people are just using, and this is what I don't like, it's just becoming so political where it's politics. Guys, we have to move away from politics. We cannot allow political views and political votes to keep us down, because that's not helping us. We're not moving forward. And I've said this about Jamaica and I will say this about America. We have to help each other. We have to look out for each other because no one is doing it for us. Stop allowing politics or politicians to use us as a pawn. Because at the end of the day, we have to be doing it for ourselves. And that's all I have to say, guys. Yes, I will not jump on that bandwagon. I'm sorry. I will not. Because God doesn't like ugly. And I'm not going to be one of the one to throw everything. Everything is Donald Trump, this, Donald, no. I'm not going to put everything political. This is too much. It's gone too much political. It's all about the votes. And, the more we can put on this party, that party is less likely to get voted in. And then we still see the problem in the black community, where as minorities are not benefiting. So even if somebody wins or whatever and somebody gets voted in, you're still not seeing an improvement. So why is it that everything is becoming politics? Focus on yourself. Focus on the black community as the black community. Stop allowing political views to sway our focus. And that is the problem. It's been the problem for centuries. It's been the problem for centuries. Because in the community, we are the ones in the community suffering. We are the ones who sometimes going to bed without food at night. I have been there. I've seen people go and they go and they vote and they go on this political crusade and they go on this political chariot and they're everything for politics. And then they can't even find food at night. It happens. But then we have to be the ones in the community listening to the gunshots and jumping off our beds because shots are firing. So I am not a political person. You understand? I don't let politics sway my views. I don't let politics sway my opinion. Right? The only thing I know is that at the end of the day, it comes down to us. You understand? Because I always say politicians are in their big houses eating nice food when we're the ones in the community, the ghetto, suffering, can't even find food to eat. Where are the politicians then? So I don't let political views guide me. My views are my own and I have to be fair. So I will not get up and go on no bandwagon of tearing down everything that man does. I can't do that. But again, Katie Hopkins, those are my views, and to you guys, those are my views. And this even same Katie Hopkins, it's about politics. It's just about getting political points. And you're coming out with stuff like this and it's so sensitive to the black community. Why can't people just care enough? Why can't people understand? Right? I've heard even saying that, oh, the Black Lives Matter movement is racist. Because people don't get it. You always have somebody you're trying to do. You always have counter protesters who believe that you don't have a right to protest for your own rights. Because again, Black Lives Matter does not mean that no other lives matter. Black Lives Matter is because Black lives doesn't matter in the first place. So why are you going to say all lives matter when the Black Lives Matter didn't matter? Black lives didn't matter in the first place. You can't talk about all lives because all lives have been regarded. But Black lives, which is the truth, has not been put to such high regards. So that's where the Black Lives Matter come from. It's not being racist. It's not saying nobody else matters. We're saying put us on the same level as you treat everyone else. So why is it people are coming now and always pointing out things about this Black Lives Movement? They're always pointing out things. They're always coming with some troll. Why are there always so many trolls? And then people say, and that for me, I find it's racist. It's racist to come and try to degrade or to try to demean or try to take away from the focus of what people are doing. I think that someone who must be racist. Because why is it you? Why do you take it upon yourself to come and tear down what someone else is doing just because they want the fair treatment in their society? So for me, I just found, but again, that's just my views. That's just my views on all of this. But I just found those 3 questions to be quite condescending. And she seemed very entitled. How dare she? But again, who am I? I'm just man. And I'm a girl I've always cared about my community. I care about my race. I care about everyone. But I'm just talking about because I've been through suffering. I've experienced it. And they always say, it's like, you can't tell me that you understand where I'm coming from because you've never been there. So the words I understand is not even appropriate. You've never been in my shoes. So unless you've walked in my shoes, can you know how it feels to be squeezed in my shoes? And that's just the reality of it. So that's my response to Miss Katie Hopkins. That's really what I have to say. And those are my views. I just have to say that. She made some valid points because, again, we don't seem focused, guys. But then in some respects, most of her points didn't make sense because you can't compare 2 things. They're not the same things to compare. But guys, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you. You know what I mean? It's just me. I go on and on. But it's just my views, I'm passionate about things like this. And I think passion gets you. Emotion doesn't get you anywhere, but you need to have a little passion. You need to have passion in what you do. You need to care enough. And I do care. And I really would love to make a difference. I would love to make a difference in the Black community. That is something that I'm looking forward to. I mean, I'm coming from nothing and I'm thriving to become something. You know what I mean? I didn't have much. I know what it's like to be without. I know what it's like to not be educated, to not have, that in the bag. I know what it's like to be looked down on, to be looked upon as nothing. So I am coming from nothing and I'm trying to thrive for something. And I just hope that I can take a lot of you guys, a lot of my, a lot of people that are in the same situation with me, guys, because we can do it. We can and we must and we will by God's grace. So guys, thank you for watching and I hope you have a fab day. And just stay blessed, stay positive, and stay focused. Let us get this together, guys. Let us have an aim in this Black Lives Movement. Let us have a aim, one goal, one aim, one desire. In Jesus' name. Let us do this. We can do this. So have a good day, guys. Until next time. Godspeed.